Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of the OOH-RAH Report. I am your host, Anthony Cabrera, and today we are talking about all things Star Wars. So now let's get to my three other co-hosts for today.
Hi, I'm Christopher Cabrera. I'm excited to talk about Star Wars.
Mickey, I'm looking forward to talking.
I'm Carlos, and I've been Anthony's friend for a couple of years now.
Yeah, about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I think, right?
8 or 9, and it started in middle school. Anyway.
A couple.
So first things first, we just finished up the Mandalorian Season 2. Full disclosure, to start off, there will be spoilers, so if you have not seen Season 1 or 2 of the Mandalorian, just skip ahead. I will put a notation in the description below for where you can jump to all the other stuff. So, Mandalorian Season 2. For those of us who have seen it, because I know some of us haven't.
Well, can I say one thing about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you could spend time talking about the entire season, although I want to jump to the ending.
That's most of what
Yeah. So,
about.
in the ending, the big reveal is Luke Skywalker taking Baby Yoda, and I
Grogu.
think
Grogu.
Sorry,
Grogu.
Grogu. I think the most interesting part about that is that you have zero idea what happens in the third season. Do we continue with him, or does it end there?
No, they made the announcement.
Does Ben kill him in the temple?
Yeah, we don't know that, which is scary. But so at the end of season 2, what we do get is we get the end of the Baby Yoda storyline in general, and now you have basically 2 branching stories going on for season 4. Because first off, we know that Baby Yoda will be with Luke for the foreseeable future, but I do think they will bring Grogu back to the show at some point. They can't just not do that.
I want to see a Rocky IV training montage of Grogu in the Jedi Temple. I'd love to see that.
Just building up his powers to confronting Darth Vader,
but
and the thing we never knew we wanted.
But the Dolph Lundgren one with the steroids and the running underwater, I want to see that.
Yeah, I would like to see that too.
I think the biggest problem, though, going forward with Mandalorian is you really don't know. It's been so based on this one idea that Grogu needs to be with a Jedi, and now you have it. But they're continuing the show. So what happens next?
Well, they kind of set it up in different ways. I know, Mickey, you were very excited to see the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, boy. Well, I was excited to see Bib Fortuna, or one of my friends called him a big fat tuna to me because he got huge. But I was excited to see him sitting in Jabba's chair, and also the fact that he said McClunky, which is a deep cut to A New Hope, which is what Greedo says to Han Solo when they're having that little argument.
Yeah.
After Han shoots first.
Well, what I think is super interesting about that is that it's kind of full circle.
Yeah, totally.
Very rarely do you see things get tied back to the original trilogy at all. And when it is done, it's usually done pretty poorly.
Yeah.
Well, now they're kind of I think they're
thank
kind
you,
of
JJ and
fixing that.
Yeah. Now you have a situation where Boba Fett has returned and taken Jabba's chair. And as usually that's not something you ever thought you'd see. But now it is. And that's one of the few things you could say is that's really cool. I want to see where that goes.
Yeah, because he...
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because Jabba fucked, essentially, Jango, and then he fucked Boba later on.
Yeah.
So it's I got you twofold, bitch.
The fact that Boba even worked for the guy was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But
well, I think the biggest thing that we need to we're gonna get from the Book of Boba Fett is there's 2 possible ways they can go with this. Does Boba become, the crime boss that Jabba was, or does he use that power to kind of clean up Tatooine? Because Tatooine is still the heart of scum and villainy.
The slave capital of the galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention, he's not exactly a savior in any way.
No. But he's become a good guy.
I think that's
at
a
least
stretch.
Through Mando season 2, you see that he is he became honorable through this because he helped. Think about it.
No.
Tell me not. Does he do that?
I say he redeems himself.
Yeah.
He's definitely a relic, because he totally is still a clone.
Yeah,
he's a relic of years past. I don't know.
He's not a savior. He's not really a hero. I think if he does do anything else, at the end of the day, it's going to be in his best interest. I don't think you're going to see any the cleaning up of Tatooine,
which is what he's done thus far.
So you think it'll be he'll become the crime boss on Tatooine?
Yeah, that I think is more likely and more fitting for the character as a whole.
Because you get hints, I guess, of that being more of his character when he talks about only wanting his armor back.
That's
True.
true.
And then helping other people. That's
Yeah.
real, like...
It's just a
It's real
byproduct
crime.
of what he's done.
It's real crime bossy. Like, hey, I'll help you. Just give me my shit.
Like, I'm not against that. I feel like that'll.
Right.
It is a limited run, so it's not going to be like we're
Yeah,
going to get two
right.
seasons.
Yeah.
It's a single season of this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, besides just Boba Fett show, there's a lot of other stuff that came out. I mean,
well, I want to quickly, before we move on to the other stuff, just go over like what we're expecting from Mando season 3, because
I don't know what to expect.
End on a lot of good stuff.
They pushed it back, which I like. Especially, like, it gives them more time to write up a better storyline. You know, you figure they're gonna write for the foreseeable like 10 months.
let's be
if
honest.
not longer, and then while Boba Fett's having his thing be decided, you know, see what they want to do with the Darksaber. No, you can go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if the show ended, like the finale for the whole series was the end of season 2, it would have been pretty fitting.
No one would have complained.
It made sense. It was the whole arc ending. Now they have to figure out a way to build on what they've done, but also bring more to the table. It's not going to be easy.
I think that's a really good question for mostly Jon Favreau. For that is, you know, is this show a one-trick pony? Is this just?
Is it done?
Is it done? Is it just the child that got the show going, or can you actually build? I think he can.
Let's not deny Baby Yoda was about 95% of the reason people loved the show.
Grogu.
Grogu, get it right.
Okay,
I mean,
like it was Grogu's show.
essentially, I think that if they do lose viewership, it'll be the people who are like,
Just the
you
Baby
know,
Yoda,
like
Baby
me.
Yoda.
yeah,
Like this?
yeah,
Who knew
like,
it for the Baby Yoda?
Baby
Yeah.
Yoda stands, and like, I could totally see, you know, Din or Mando being on the opposite end of what he's been doing this entire time, because now he has a Darksaber and he's got to hold on to it, you know.
That makes him a leader.
Or right,
It makes him king.
Yeah.
of Mandalore, which as Boba said is now glass, basically, especially after the Siege of Mandalore years back.
I do have a question though.
What?
As you all know, I haven't seen any of the seasons yet. But I've seen a lot of memes about the Darksaber. What exactly is it?
Darksaber was created by the first Mandalorian Jedi, Tar Vizsla, and it's really just like a symbol of power.
Oh, okay.
It's from like thousands of years.
Yeah,
Like
don't.
whoever be he worthy holds the power.
It's
Like, that's basically what
yeah.
it is.
It's
Oh.
not a lightsaber in the context of like you're a Jedi, but this was a gift from the Jedi to the first Mandalorian Jedi, and it
No,
basically
no,
no.
Tar Vizsla made it himself. It's
This
his.
was,
It's
this
his.
was
def-
made
his
by
lightsaber.
Mandalorians.
Will I take that back?
Your video game.
Full
context
disclaimer: I am
is
not an
gone.
expert in Star Wars.
Video games are not canon typically, except for Fallen Order.
That's
Yeah.
the only one.
But in reality, the saber is not something that you're not going to see him fighting a Jedi in the same capacity as you would see like a Sith versus.
No, you're gonna see him.
he
use
exists
that
outside
as-
of that canon in a weird way.
That's their weapon. It's just simply their.
It's a
like,
symbol.
It's just another like saber. That's all it is. A saber.
The
in
fact
name.
that it can be passed around to anybody who's a Mandalorian is pretty shitty.
That's
They're not
true.
like
It's
electing
passed on-
leaders.
No, because here's the thing: there is something like that involved. Because for you to get the Darksaber, and for you to be, like said, as you are king or queen of Mandalore, you must win the saber in combat. That's why the end of season 2 is a problem. Because Din beats
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon things for the Darksaber, and then when he brings it, and she's like, why do you have that? I said, bring him to me. Which I honestly think, if you knew that you were going to have to fight him at some point, why didn't you go find him yourself? Like, that really annoyed me, because it was like, I get it.
A
he
good
was
leader
gonna-
never does it themselves, is the saying.
But she needed to beat him. That was the whole thing. Like, she wants to be queen, you know.
Why did she need the baby to be queen?
She doesn't need the baby to be queen. She
So
needs
why
the
did she care?
Darksaber to be queen.
Then why did she care about Grogu?
Because Moff Gideon
Because
was going to be
he
protecting
had
him. That was
he
the
had
thing.
Grogu. He knew his location
Oh.
because he was trying to get
So it was like a joint effort.
yeah.
It was a team
Alright.
building exercise.
Okay. Oh, that's a weird way to put it.
But
I know. I can totally see this season 3 being
it's just
Din
that.
on the opposite side of the spectrum. Either it's Din being chased by Bo-Katan, or they start off with their fight still on the light speeder.
I think at the end of the day, The start is going to be very promising. We all know that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to be
Like
what's
the first
story.
Yeah, I think.
Like, are they continuing with Grogu? Is this going to be a continuing element of season 3, or are we going to go a completely different direction now?
I think you're going a completely different direction.
That's why it's
Mostly
taking a
'cause you
whole
have
year to
so
write.
much stuff that's going to hold you over till then.
But does he hold on to the Darksaber? I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
you're
lot
not-
of questions.
That's why they're taking a whole year off.
Yeah, exactly.
To
They
write.
gotta
gotta
figure
answer these
this
questions.
out.
They gotta figure this out
Amen.
before we go on.
Hey, man.
Which is the same thing you kind of see with other shows they're coming out with, like the new Obi-Wan show. Like, let's be honest, that is a really overdue show.
They announced that
long
when I remember that
overdue.
got announced.
They
when Disney
annou-
Plus
yeah.
was announced and it got so delayed.
They announced.
Yeah.
Well, in reality, that show has been on the conversation block
Oh, yeah.
for
Years.
years, right? And now, who do they announce to add
rumors
on
and
to that?
rumors.
What did you say?
Just rumors and rumors, like
Right.
years back.
Yeah.
Will Ewan reprise his role? Will Hayden come back? You know. Like,
And then here we recently find out.
yes, both of
Which-
those questions.
Which I love the
Are
fact
true.
that
They go correct.
they just did it so randomly.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, it's Investors Day. Just let's throw all
You
this
know
stuff
what?
out. It's fun.
You know what? Bring back Hayden.
Yeah.
Bring it back here
Well,
for the fans.
We all have
the
distinct opinions about him, so why don't we go around the room and just give your piece about this actor?
Carlos, you can go first.
All right, yeah. Well, first of all, Revenge of the Sith is actually my favorite Star Wars movie.
Oh, it's in
Yeah.
my top 3.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
No, it's like my number one. So seeing him come back and just also like the chemistry between him and Obi-Wan,
It's there.
it's just there. That's it for me.
I mean, no, but truthfully, like,
You're
it's
right.
kind of strange because he's regarded as a terrible actor. I mean, not in all his roles.
Here's the thing, and this is where like I'll just say my stance on him. I like him because here's my.
I like him in the last half of Sith.
No,
That's
my
about
biggest
it.
gripe with the prequels, and this comes down to basically Hayden Christensen, is he is not a bad actor. When you are given, when the director is giving you bad direction and the writing is crap,
It was the writing.
like
The
that's
sand
your
is
problem.
coarse and rough.
Exactly. No one can say that with a straight face,
No.
and he was still able to do it and make it come off. Try to do it properly.
No, he didn't.
But
It wasn't
it was
good.
still bad. I'm
It
not saying
wasn't
it was good.
good.
I'm just saying like it was
Say
a
it.
bad.
Dude, Hayden Christensen is such a good and criminally underused actor. You gotta
He
look
said
at
it.
him outside of the bad movies,
I'm
man.
not saying, but what I was saying is like if
Oh,
you
like
take
Little
away,
Italy.
Little Italy's horrible.
Yeah. So
It's all in the dialogue.
If you
know?
take away the dialogue and you look at Hayden Christensen in the scenes in the prequel trilogy where he just has to be himself,
He's
and
still blonde
be
and dumb.
Anakin and Vader, he is good.
he kills it.
He kills it.
Like when they're playing Revenge of the Sith, when they're playing I think it's Anakin's betrayal. No,
Alright.
it's Across the Stars when he's on Coruscant. He's looking out the
scene where him
window
and Padme, are, like, in
Padme.
different buildings. Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
of the best scenes in the
Yeah.
prequels.
Okay.
It's one of his best nonverbal acting.
That's
ever.
exactly what I was gonna say. If
Mhm.
you look at him, in specifically the last act of
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, what do you notice about him? You notice
He has
menacing.
yellow eyes.
he's
on.
yes, he's menacing. He's darker toned, and his acting significantly
His
improved.
hair is
So
more
maybe,
emo.
let's be honest, maybe he's just not good at playing the good guy.
Maybe he's not.
Yeah.
And now you're giving him a chance in a limited run on Disney Plus. Be as dark
I don't
and
know
as
if it'll be
menacing,
Menacing and
you
as
want.
silent
Is it limited?
as possible.
It is limited. It's the same thing as Book of Boba Fett. It is just a single, solitary, like I think it's 6 episodes.
I'm gonna watch that
They're
so
hours.
much.
They're hours long. I think everything's being released in the same schedule as Mando was. So it's like it's a weekly show, but it's an hour each week. So
I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me.
No, I think
6
they're-
hours.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, who else is?
But it's 6 hours, and you and me have at least seen the hype that comes into the end of every episode. It's,
Oh, yeah.
Like we're gonna be fine every week at
Oh,
the end of it.
Totally.
But also now let's like get into how they're gonna like bring him back because
It's not easy.
The show is picking off right where Revenge of the Sith left off. Right?
10 years after, I
10
think.
years.
10 years after Revenge of the
I
Sith.
think
okay,
there's a
so 10
gap.
years.
There's a
Yeah,
gap.
yeah.
But even so,
So he's Darth Vader already.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
for a while.
10 years.
So what I think they're gonna do is mostly like flashbacks, and beside like when it's not in flashbacks, it's gonna be like mostly his voice. Only.
Yeah. I think they should use his voice. Like, I know there's a bit of a conversation between using the traditional Darth Vader voice, like Jones, and his. And I think, personally, use his. use that he is like a more developed actor. Like, let's be honest, he is older. Like, there will be a bit of like context you can build off there. And I don't know. I don't think he's ever gonna run into Obi-Wan. I think the closest they're ever gonna get is like the spaceships gliding past each other, and they're gonna like have that force field between each other. If they ever do get face to face, I think it's gonna be very controversial in Star Wars canon.
Well, here, here. You know what I think this entire show is gonna be? I think it's gonna be Darth Vader telling
Inquisitors? Well, they did confirm Inquisitors, though.
No, not the Inquisitors.
Telling a story like The Princess Bride.
No, that'd be decent. I'd still watch that.
Fred Savage is in the show,
but
too.
they revealed that they actually
I'm
love.
trying to remember the name. It's from Solo. It's this crime syndicate from Solo.
I
never saw
Solo.
With Darth Maul?
Yes. I think that this is going to end up being Vader basically like sending Darth Maul and Darth Maul completing his task. Because there's no way you're going to have Ewan McGregor play
well, that's what I was
and not
say.
Have him face off against him. Because you know he's alive in canon.
But in canon, Kenobi kills Maul, and he kills him in Rebels.
No, they reveal in Solo he's alive, because Solo's canon.
In Solo he's alive. So if this takes place...
He's alive in Solo.
If this takes place before... Basically, it depends on where it is in the timeline. If it's after Rebels...
Rebels is after Solo.
Yeah, Rebels is after Solo. But if it takes... I want to see the confrontation...
Oh, you're right.
They could just redo the confrontation. I don't think that would be that difficult for them to do. And if you have to what is it, like 2-3 episodes in Rebels?
In all
but
fairness,
then you have to retcon the whole show.
No, but in all fairness, you haven't seen...
You can just say, like, it's the same thing, just two different... Like, the same thing, just... this is live action.
Okay, but
animated.
On top of that, though, I mean, tell me if you agree or disagree with this statement. But you have 6 hours, right? That's all we're getting for this show. You're telling me you're going to have... Supposedly. Let's say it is 6 hours. You're going to have Darth Vader... A Darth Vader story, an Inquisitor story, because that is confirmed in there, Obi-Wan story, and now you're going to throw in Darth Maul? Like, come on. It's a lot. You also know they're going to, at some point, probably show the Emperor.
Yeah.
And even if it's only one go-by, you can't have someone like Darth Maul come in for 10 seconds and leave.
Especially
in Solo.
But that's different. There was no Obi-Wan connection there.
I don't know if they'd bring back Maul, only because of what Ray Park did on Instagram, like, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Where he posted a picture, like, it was, like, revenge porn for his girlfriend. Where he posted a picture of him.
Can we just also say for
beach
actors who've gotten as much hate as people like Hayden Christensen have held his head very high. Like he has not given up, and I honestly respect that. But that's like another conversation.
Because he knows that it wasn't his fault.
Besides
he
that,
it was to come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Each time.
No.
Yeah, for
the
2
movies.
Time. Yeah.
Well, no, those movies had gaps. So
yeah.
They had to like
But he could have stepped away from the
for 3
acting
years,
period.
But if he really didn't like it, and didn't like the backlash he was getting, he could have easily just stepped away. I don't think it was that.
Who says no to Star Wars? You know, I feel like that's a big
true,
deal,
especially during
what?
the time frame.
Now I know this is like a bit of a separate conversation, but like let's take Ahsoka for a second. She's getting her own show. She appeared in Mandalorian. Do you have her coming in Obi-Wan?
No.
Because I don't know if you guys. Well, hear me out. I don't know if you guys have seen Rebels, but in Rebels she faces off with Darth Vader. With his mask broken, and she has that connection, realizing that's her old master, Anakin Skywalker. Now, if you're gonna have Hayden Christensen, Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and an Ahsoka show on the side, you're telling me those don't coincide at all? I think that's
no.
Can I curse?
Yes.
What a fucking waste that would be.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, because now here's where your problems come in. Because the Mandalorian and Ahsoka take place in the exact same timeline.
Yeah, that's
time period.
That's
like
10 years, 15 years after Empire, 25 years after Empire, something like that.
No, it's 10 years after Jedi.
But just because you have Ahsoka in that doesn't mean you can't have
Return of the
Ahsoka 30 years earlier.
No.
Before A New Hope.
Yeah,
Ahsoka's alive. We know that.
But she's also in hiding. So do you really want? And you also have, once again, you have her in Rebels. Do you want to do that?
I think it's possible.
I think that's too much. I think if you're gonna have an Obi-Wan story, I guess pick what you want, and if it's a limited run, just stick what you want. If you're doing Inquisitors, do Inquisitor. If you're gonna do Maul, do Maul. If you're gonna do Vader and Ahsoka, you could just do that in a flashback in the Ahsoka show. I think that's what you're gonna have to do. So after both of those, the next show that was announced was Andor. I have no idea what that is. Can someone please enlighten me?
Does anyone have any idea what Andor is?
I have no idea.
That is Cassian Andor from
it's
Rogue One.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was also
Diego
announced a
Luna.
while ago.
I'm not sure I'm happy about that. I feel like we could have used that space for a number of other things.
Well, don't worry. There's enough space for other stuff.
It's not the point. I mean, yeah, it's not like Disney is abstracting from a small finite pool of money.
Well, Disney Plus.
They have more
is
money
like,
than the United States of America at this point.
literally, I think every week there's something new coming out in 2021, which is amazing.
Did you guys see Rogue One?
Yes,
I did.
some of
It
the
was
best
really
Star
good.
Wars media you'll ever see.
You know why? Because there's no
It's so
Jedi and Sith conflict. It was just straight the war,
It's a
which
war
you
film.
never see.
It's
It was so
it's
good.
a war film in Star Wars. It's great.
Again, I think top 3.
Yeah.
I don't count them in my crowd.
Well, yeah. I don't count Solo, and I don't count
I don't count the side films.
Rogue One in my count because I keep it to the
It's
If
got
I had to
numbered
pick
films.
most
1 through 9.
well-written Star Wars story of all 10 of them, 11 of them, it would go to Rogue One, without a doubt, because that's the best finite story. Like in one movie, that has the best story. Personally, on a side note, my favorite Star Wars movie of all time is actually Force Awakens.
Really?
Wow.
Yes, and I
Oh,
say that
wow.
very controversial
I can
statement.
already hear the hate now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me explain. I understand impeccable comparisons to Episode 4, without a doubt. I totally understand that. But I just love the adaptation of a new trio fighting the same war, the same battle, with a new reason.
But
Like,
also, I have a feeling those brownie points because that was the first Star Wars.
it's
film
that's
I've ever
not
seen
true.
in
No,
theaters.
it's not true because you have all these really cool twists that you never really got in the first 4 episodes, like Ben Solo. I mean, that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
This confusion with Snoke at the time was really interesting.
As a standalone, it's good. But when you look at the
The
other two,
I'm talking as a standalone.
Yeah.
As a standalone, I think it did really well. My only statement is the ending with Rey and the lightsaber was a little bit off. As a whole trilogy, it's not the best. Nowhere
It
near
sucks.
it. It's probably right around prequel area in terms of continuity. Like how it flowed was terrible,
it just got worse as it
You have
went.
Yeah.
you have
Honestly.
two different writers separated.
which was
You know,
the major issue.
The
I
biggest
just
thing that
they
should have salvaged
decanonize it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you should decanonize it. I don't think so. I think it's too.
I don't
much-
think it'll be touched upon in the
there's-
future.
There's too
No,
much
it's
good
not.
stuff in it that you can't really touch because you have like the. Let's be honest. Ben Solo and Adam Driver is the best thing in that
Oh,
trilogy.
he's a great actor.
I don't
think
wanna hear
Ray
that.
did great too.
No, she.
I just think she got
Daisy Ridley
shitty
was good.
direction like we've seen in past Star
Yeah.
Wars movies.
Yeah.
Even the holiday special didn't help her.
Right.
Holiday special made her worse.
Yeah.
Also, they just threw like Finn's story arc out the
They
window.
killed his arc in the first 10 minutes of The Force Awakens.
Which was awful. And they tried to add like I don't know the
Oh,
character
the
that was
love
with
in-
Finn,
the
the
love
love interest for
interest.
Finn that never really captivated.
See, exactly. You
Poe,
can't
Poe,
remember her name
what's
because
it?
she was worthless.
And then what was with
Some
that
of them
kiss?
are.
It was
Yeah.
yeah. What was with that kiss
And
between
then-
Ray and Ben?
And then Disney
Not
came out
needed.
and said it was it was like a celebration kiss.
That doesn't make any
Not out of
sense.
passion.
No.
Like, get the fuck
No, you're
out
wrong. You can't redcon that. Kurt. You can't redcon that shit.
That's
You
like
can't. We've
that's.
seen
I'm
it.
gonna be
We know
honest.
that.
That's almost up there with
Rose, that was her name.
Rose.
Rose.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
I
her.
still don't
I'm
care.
glad they cut her story in the last movie because it was not needed.
She got like 2 lines of dialogue.
She was honestly not missed.
No, she really
No.
wasn't. And let's just go out there and just straight out say it. The ending of Force Awakens with Rey being, not Force Awakens, with Rise of Skywalker with Palpatine being her grandfather.
Yeah.
Really
Clone
ruined
I'm a
grandfather.
Skywalker.
ruined her
Like-
character.
Oh, dude. These 3 movies made me hate Luke, hate the Jedi more than I kind of already
not,
did.
Not true for me.
And then they made me hate everybody involved.
I really liked Luke's parts for the most part. Now I'm not gonna say all of them,
Dude.
but for the most part,
What happened to the happy guy that we saw on, like...
I understand.
But he wasn't
Dagobah.
but he wasn't a happy guy in Mando either.
No,
He wasn't.
Dude, he just killed his dad and his grandpa.
I mean that was
Would you be happy?
fair point.
Right.
But let's be straightforward here. I mean, I can understand how he got to be like that, to be totally honest. I understand Leia's progression, Han's progression.
Mm-hmm.
I think even Ben, even though I never met him, made a lot of sense.
You met
Like-
Leia?
Okay, but get my point. Even though Ben was not a character I knew before this series,
Right.
this trilogy, it made a lot of sense to me. Rey being a Palpatine, stuck on this desert planet, just stressed me
Okay.
out because it's like it was cool that she was a nobody.
Uh-huh.
It was cool that she was a nobody.
Here's the thing, and this is what I come back to all the time. These films are bad only because of the lack of direction. If you had JJ,
Dude, just
from-
stop it there.
from the
These
Yeah.
films are bad.
If you had J.J. Abrams direct and write all 3 of them and had his vision for Star Wars, yes, we saw how that worked with Star Trek, and it wasn't 100% great, but it was good.
I never saw
But
Star
just
Trek.
get a different
You did.
director.
You need a single director to at least look at. Let's be
Yes.
honest. If you had to draw a line, and I'm gonna make this as visual as possible, You have the starting point with Force Awakens with one director, and it goes in a straight line, and you can see where the story's going. I'm not going to say it's completely predictable, but you understood it. And then you get this fucking tangent that just broke up and is now on the other side of the room, which is the 8th episode, which really just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it sucked.
And then you have Rise of Skywalker, which picks up right where it left off. Literally right where it left off. And then we're back to the first story. So it's like, how did this happen? How did we get here?
Which is a shame, because if you look at Disney's track record with continuing stories, you have the best continuous story in modern storytelling in the MCU.
Toy Story.
That's also true. But even Pixar, the Pixar theory, you want to go into that? That's a whole other thing.
Why Star Wars can't do this is really beyond me, because they have not only a lot of money and attention.
Can I tell you why? It's because Riley Johnson did not pay attention to the earlier films.
Not at all.
He's come out, if I remember correctly, and said that he did not like The Empire Strikes Back, and he didn't take any influence from it. When that's arguably the best Star Wars movie before The Force Awakens and any other movie. You know, like, how can you not take any influence or any idea or, like,
even themes?
Even themes.
Just simple themes.
From, like, some of the other best Star Wars media ever let out. How do you just throw that away and say, you know what? I'm going to make Jedi be able to be holograms. But holograms that look good enough that they're human.
On the other side of the galaxy.
On the other side of the... You're in the
and you're
outer...
going to just chalk it up to, how do you do that? The Force.
Right.
That's not how the Force works.
Right. The outer rim all the way to the inner core. Like,
let's look at, like, what has made Star Wars, other Star Wars things great. Such as, like, video games. I mean, just... My favorite Star Wars video game is...
Force Unleashed.
Yeah. Force Unleashed.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I really do.
Dude, they should canonize that game.
There is a rumor going around that Kenobi will canonize.
They better.
Force
Hold on.
Unleashed.
Which
I will just...
Have you played Force Unleashed?
I have not.
Okay, so just one thing in Force Unleashed is that Yoda appears in the second game.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few elements. There's a couple in the first game too, but there's a few elements that connects the Force Unleashed to the main Star Wars universe. But it's that world building, paying attention to final details like Yoda popping up for 10 seconds.
Right.
Or seeing Luke go by, or referencing the beginning of the rebellion.
Acknowledge your past.
And build on it. Creates a canonized universe that makes it work. Yeah. That makes it good. When you have a situation like the trilogy that we just got, or the 8th movie, that just doesn't pay attention to freaking anything, how am I supposed to enjoy that? You just shattered what people are people's expectations.
Right. It's all because there's no continuity in the writing.
No, it's not. And it's an issue that goes between, like, beyond just 7, 8, 9, to be honest.
Oh, totally.
You can see major issues in Star Wars universe from 1 to 9 that don't connect. Yeah. I mean...
There's a lot of things that need to be kind of fixed for that film format. Because here's the thing. I think when you, like... Right now, the way we look back on the prequels is the way a lot of people, like, in a few years, will look back on the sequel trilogy. And I think if you'll look back on it, and there are a lot of redeeming qualities. I feel like those will outweigh, the crap. And there's a lot of crap to dig to. There's an entire scene where, in the theater, I specifically looked at my brother and said...
And we hated it.
And I said,
Within
I'm going to
an
go to the
instant.
bathroom. And he goes, why? I thought you said you weren't going to go. And I said, because I can tell you right now, this scene's going to be worth something. What was it? Can't tell bite. It was completely useless.
Right. Or the scene where Leia, Leia was trained in the ways of the Jedi. They explain that in Episode 9. But in no freaking situation are you trained as a Jedi to pull yourself out of space into a spaceship and live.
Which, I'll be 100% honest,
doesn't happen.
As a person who knows how post-production works in films, it bothers me that, like, you knew that Carrie Fisher passed away before the release of the film. You had a perfect opportunity to just make a few little edits and have her die, and that would have been
screen.
like that would have not even off screen. You could have had, like, edited. You can't tell me you're a multi-billion-dollar company and you couldn't figure out a way
with the best VFX artist on the planet.
Exactly, and you couldn't have that scene where she's in space be her send-off, because that would have been a great plot
Let's
point.
instead make her be Christopher Reeves through the galaxy.
Yeah.
Let's Superman her through the stars. Like, what?
In addition to
Make
that...
him, like... How does that make sense?
Look what happens to her in 9. It's a total, excuse my language, it's a fucking shit show. It's a total
Because they
shit
couldn't-
show.
Okay, let's be honest. They
She's
did
in the
a
movie.
good
Then
job.
we get this black screen of her in 9, like, and I was just like, and then she just dies. She's like,
Yeah.
I've
she
lost
needs
the
me,
will to live.
and then just
What about
dies.
What about Luke's death, where he just collapses on the rock?
I thought that was really cool.
But you know,
not gonna
okay,
lie,
so
really
here's my
love that
thing
scene
with Luke's death, and Luke's death did not bother me that much.
because of how intense it was.
So not because
I don't care if Luke dies.
No, because here's the thing. He's a Jedi Master. You know by this point that checklist to become a Jedi Master includes becoming a Force
Ghost.
Yeah.
So he wasn't necessarily dead.
We're talking
you
like
would see him again.
Jedi legend only
Yeah.
turns into Force Ghost.
Like
Like you don't see no friggin' like
it's like the buy one get one free. Like if you become a Jedi Master,
Yeah.
you also regain this
you
power.
don't
to
see
become a
no
Force
Mace
Ghost.
Windu becoming a Force Ghost because he wasn't a real master. He was
Yeah,
only a
but-
Grand
but
Jedi.
Anakin, yeah.
Thank you,
could
Qui-Gon,
probably-
for
you had-
teaching us that.
Yeah,
Anakin
which we
had
never
no
see
idea
him
how it
again, mind you.
Right.
Which will probably be in Obi-Wan too. Actually, they said.
Oh yeah,
I hope.
I'll see Liam Neeson talk about midichlorians again.
Oh, I
I'll be-
need
No more, no
I'll
more.
be okay with
They
that.
live in all living creatures.
Just to take a step back, because I want to talk more about the video game side of things.
Oh, God.
A couple of us played Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It was great.
So good.
my first and only Star Wars game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna comparing it to Force Unleashed, which I think is the only real Star Wars game you can compare it to.
Yeah.
It's better. It's better story. It's better
way better.
storytelling. It's better, obviously, graphics and design and
Plot
gameplay.
development.
Yeah, I mean, but we all have our own gripes with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mine personally is I'm not a fan of the platforming. I'm not a
Oh,
fan of how it's very
yeah.
linear in terms of where you can go, and you can't.
You know you're giving me flashbacks to Doom Eternal right now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't really mind the platforming aspect of it, but I do agree with like how
You
they
get
push
A
you
to B.
towards like one area, and there's only one area you can go to.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't like
the
that.
replayability of it.
It's
Yeah,
very
it's
As I
minimal.
very
mentioned
low.
before, like I finished the story and I never picked up the game
Me neither.
again.
Me too.
That's see,
I mean,
that's
sometimes
most
it's
of
fun just to run around in the game and maybe kill a
Yeah.
couple enemies because
Find more chests.
yeah. But truth be told, there's nothing else to do. You are giving us a whole planet as a separate section, not a different area on the map.
Yeah.
A separate planet, and we only get access to this one area.
Yeah,
Isn't that a bit minimal? Considering for a game that can host platforms like Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and GTA, we know we have access to a lot more than what you gave us in Jedi Fallen Order.
no, yeah, you're right.
It's just on their part. I guess they wanted there to be more focus on the story instead of an open
Yeah, I
world
get that.
aspect. You know, because maybe an open world aspect, or like an open world Star Wars game is something we'll get in the future. That'd be
Well,
very cool. Maybe with Fallen Order 2.
hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Fallen Order 2 has a lot of potential at this point.
Oh, totally.
Also, just to say, we were talking before about like how you pay attention to past Star Wars games. Jedi Fallen Order never references any other external events except for Order 66
Yeah.
and the Return of Darth Vader in the end of the game.
Exactly.
And just
Was
those little things make it.
Very awesome.
Yes, the whole Order 66 thing, the way they explain it,
Yeah.
I really loved that.
was
It made it
awesome,
make
with the music
sense.
behind too.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
It shows
was
there
awesome.
are more Jedi still out there that we don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the boss battle. How'd you guys feel about the boss battle with the former Jedi Master?
Terran Malikos?
Yes.
I died a couple times.
It's a tough
Yeah,
fight,
it is a
Yeah,
very
it's
tough fight.
really hard.
but at the end of the day, killer storytelling.
Great
It was worth
storytelling.
The
it.
way
Yeah.
they explain how that guy came to be.
I actually like the flashbacks and how they integrated learning a new skill with the flashbacks.
Oh, loved it.
that was really.
We
cool.
all
too.
knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made it so awesome.
Yeah, that true, bro. That scene was very heartbreaking.
It was. It was sad. Or the scene where you see him with the red lightsabers.
Mm.
I mean, it's this connection. You're in his head. You are him.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's that. Like,
Write a movie like that.
Right. Right. Like that. That walkthrough when he's on Zepho. I think I'm pretty sure. Or no, when he's on Bogano, with not with the holocron. Not the
Uh-huh.
holocron.
And
What
he
the
goes
fuck
like up
was
the
it
hill,
called?
or
No, yeah, he goes up the hill
Oh.
into the temple on Bogano, and he puts the little sphere thing. I forget what it's called in the game, but he puts it in the ground and it
it was
opens
a
up to.
holocron, right?
It was a holocron.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where
I think
it
so.
produces the map.
No.
Because the map's the holocron.
Yeah. I'm talking about the thing that he was looking to find on Zepho to bring back to Bogano. Remember when he walked through killing a bunch of the Jedi younglings with his red lightsaber.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
oh,
That was some of the most incredible storytelling I've ever
Yeah.
seen in the Star Wars game.
Whoa.
oh. Also, the Inquisitor fight at the top of the tree.
Oh, totally.
That was great. First off, visually,
Beautiful.
awesome. With
That
the
whole
dragon.
map.
I died a bunch of times.
Oh,
on
it's
that one
tough.
Too. It's
Me too.
These boss battles are very good.
They're
Especially on
meaningful.
the easy, or like second easiest, like your standard, like
The game didn't
your
give you
standard
anything.
like level you play at from launch.
Yeah.
Like when you first load up the game, it's hard there.
It is. It is even on like normal, which I played on. I think.
Yeah, me too.
Truthfully, when you get like skill trees, sometimes it's very hard to start up because it's like you got to earn these skills to be able to defeat certain enemies. And you can't really just rush through it. You got to work your way up there.
Right.
I thought the way that each memory gave you a new skill and that new skill became valuable
Yeah.
made a lot of sense to me because when you finally fix your lightsaber and have that big boss battle on the top of the tree, it made so much sense to me because I really related to his struggle at that point, and that was a big turning point for him in the game,
Totally.
and it just made so much sense.
I also like the reintroduction of Saw Gerrera of
Mhm.
Forrest Whitaker from the Clone Wars. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
so
First saw him
sick.
in Rogue One.
And-
I
Right.
forgot if I saw Rogue One first or played the game. I probably saw Rogue One first.
Yeah,
But they both go and coincide so well.
Yeah, it was,
The Wookiee planet,
Mhm.
something we never get to see.
Kashyyyk.
Yeah, Kashyyyk. Something we never get to see, but we know so much about, and you get to actually play there for a while, and you don't get much of it. You get that one, like I said, that one area, which is really just a base. But even so, you get to actually see the wildlife of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when you swim through the valleys to get to the back of it, and you have to go up to the top of the hills. It's just something you don't get to see, and it's just so interesting to really see that take form.
Yeah, totally.
another thing I really liked was the combat system.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was in previous Star Wars games. I don't know.
OP
It
as
was-
hell.
Really?
In Force Unleashed, for example, just briefly, like, stormtroopers were a joke. Every type of stormtrooper, no matter what they were, was basically a joke. Because you got forced lightning, you could throw your lightsaber, you could slice them down, you can block basically anything. The only thing that was maybe slightly challenging was some of the boss battles. But as a whole, basic enemies, total joke. Total joke. And that was Jedi Fallen Order. As you progress, you become better able to fight these local enemies. Because in the beginning, it is hard to fight those stormtroopers. Because you do have to work to defeat them.
Yeah, a little bit. But then as you progress, like you can throw your lightsaber, you can jump and smash the ground.
Yeah. It just makes sense. You earn those skills. You don't just
You don't
get
just
them.
have them.
Like in Starkiller just literally has all of this. Like, could you imagine being able to throw lightning at the first 10 seconds of your journey?
Right.
It's OP.
It is. It is. But I do like, though, that in Force Unleashed, that they gave Sam Witwer a bigger role than just the voice of Maul.
Yeah.
That he was his own dude.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was really cool.
Um,
I like Sam Witwer. He's a cool guy.
I mean, I think the natural progression of this conversation kind of goes as what's next for Star Wars. I mean, I think just besides movies, because we already know where that's going.
We already know where TV's going too. So
Well, here's my big thing: PS5 and Xbox Series X. Like, what are the platforms you're expecting to see on those systems in terms of Star Wars? Are we going to get Squadron 2? Are we going to get a Battlefront 3? Are we going to get Jedi Fallen Order 2 that early?
8K Squadrons for
8K
the
Squadrons.
That would
PS5.
be very awesome.
That would
But
be
one
awesome.
thing I do hope is they don't release any old gen versions of the game.
Yeah, because then it can't run on PS5, right?
No, see, here's my problem with that, and this because I think for at least until 2022,
No, I know.
you're gonna get a console version for each. You're
But
not
I just
gonna
want the difference in
pull out.
upgrades, okay? I want a difference in quality. I want to see it.
You
I also
probably
want
will.
them like focusing all like just committing to the PS5 version or the Xbox Series X version.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get what you're saying, but you're gonna you're gonna have to wait because
Oh, no, I
in
know.
the time period that we're in, that's just not possible for companies to do.
I mean, yeah, because like they just came out, not everyone has access to them.
I mean, look at Cyberpunk.
Yeah, right.
Failure.
Dude. Buggy
I
as
wouldn't
hell.
call it like a failure.
You have it, right? So you've played it.
Well,
yeah.
calm
You've
down
been
there,
able to play
Antonio.
it, but you can't tell me it's not buggy and it's not rushed.
Anthony.
Took
it was
8 years.
Eight
I
years.
know it was 8 years, but
of
but if the
development.
game has to be pulled off of shelves because it's you can't.
It wasn't
run
pulled-
That was
Okay,
just
hold
to
on.
appease
Problem.
everybody because they were pissed off about it.
People were
In
bitching
all
about it.
fairness, it was
Still,
only
they're like,
pulled off
"Alright,
the
okay."
shelves for PS5.
Right. They're like, all right, just give us the
PS4,
game back.
PS4.
PS4, sorry, PS4.
Because it's running at 16 to
So
20
don't
FPS.
say they pulled it
on
off the
PS4.
shelves. That's an incorrect statement.
It's a huge game.
Listen,
you know?
honestly, it just came out. There's gonna be bugs.
Any game has bugs.
Any
Now,
console.
I'll be honest, but if you, as
know.
you said, it's a 7-year development cycle. Yeah, I shouldn't have to deal with bugs.
I agree
I
that
don't
it
agree.
was.
No, I agree. Like you have to like think about it for a second. If it's just a normal game, like I'm expecting games like if I buy a game at launch, I'm expecting it to wait until at least the first or second patch update for it to work. But if you have a game that's been so hyped up and it still has bugs, you know, months after it's been released, that's an issue. That's not something that you can just be like,
But
okay.
it's not months after the release of Cyberpunk.
It's been a month, and they've released, I believe, four patches, including the day one patch. But
And there's still bugs though.
every game is gonna have bugs when it releases. But so far, in like the 20 hours that I have in, I have not experienced a game-breaking bug. It's all just small glitches that I don't even mind.
You know, you've said that now. It's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, it's gonna crash
it's
today.
gonna happen.
really
Glitches that are already... Glitches are a standard in games. You know?
Yes.
You got,
Some glitches make the games better.
right. You have to you have to give the game and like the production company some leeway because these files are huge. The detail is huge. The work that goes into it is insane. The amount of coding you get for one simple walk animation is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta understand that there's gonna be some codes that don't work well with each other.
let's call it what it is, and just the truth of the matter. We're in a situation. It's like a life as a whole. Not to get morbid, but they don't have the resources I think they normally would, nor the time, nor energy. When you're producing a game like Cyberpunk, and it's not even just Cyberpunk. It could be any game at this point. Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
Red
GTA
Dead.
6, Red Dead Redemption 2, if GTA 6 would come out, I mean. Red Dead
God
Redemption
forbid.
2. These games are massive, and they're producing them at a time where they really weren't expecting or ready to drop PS5 or X Series X because there's not so many games released on the next generation platforms. So you're releasing these titles, and it's like, well, they weren't really ready. They were supposed to be. Now, sometimes it's just a matter of circumstance. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, but
You got to accept that.
I do agree that it was a little scummy for the developers to show only footage from, like, either that, like, they ran it on PC or next gen consoles.
Yeah, that wasn't a
They
good
did
idea.
not mention or show anything at all for like the Xbox One, PS4, and look how like that turned out.
If that was the case, they should have just not released them on PS4 and Xbox One because, let's be honest, they weren't built to run on those systems. They
No,
weren't.
But I
They
feel
weren't.
like they would have gotten a lot of backlash from that, more than
Yeah,
the
because
bugs.
not only that,
I don't
you have
know.
the problem with people being like, you couldn't find, like, you still can't really find
Yeah,
the next gens available. And also, I think,
But that's
for
not an
most
issue of the
people-
gaming company.
No, I don't even. No, that's for the manufacturer. But I also think it's a matter of also, if you think about it, we've said this multiple times. You know, if you're gonna make that kind of investment, I know some people can make it better than others, but I need to have a really, like, if I'm buying a brand new console, I need to make sure that once I buy it, I can at least go out and get at least like 2 to 3 games.
Yeah, 3
How many games are there
Oh, I
really
agree.
for those consoles at this point?
PS4's got nothing. PS5's got nothing.
The only
PS5
thing
has
I can
2
think of, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not.
How
doing
crazy
that.
is that?
yeah, I
I'm
can
not
only really
spending
think of two.
$500 on.
But
I can only really think of Demon Souls and Spider-Man
But
Miles
which are the-
Morales.
But do you even count Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean,
It can
why?
run
I'd
on
say
both.
yeah.
It can
Well,
run
we
on
talking
both,
about
it can run on
Spider-Man?
all four.
no,
or
Miles Morales.
oh, Miles Morales. Sorry,
Miles Morales. Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
we meant the Spider-Man, like the remastered version that dropped on it, because I
No,
wouldn't
no,
even
no.
count that for a second.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
sorry, anyone who bought that, you're crazy, because you already played it. What
Totally.
was the point of buying it twice?
8K.
Yeah,
I've shown you pictures. It looks very good.
it looks like a knockoff Tom Holland.
Besides the character model, like when it's just him in like the suit.
It looks great.
Very good. If you have like the TV for it.
Yeah.
Um,
I also,
and
I
that's a necessity.
yeah, just a side note though, the Miles Morales release on PS4 and PS5 and like old gen, new gen, I think they both look great. I think it was that was a game that worked on both platforms. It was made to. It's not as big as the original Spider-Man we had like a couple years ago.
I guess, but Insomniac is also very good.
Yeah,
At what they do.
yeah,
I played it on the PS4 and it ran fine. Maybe just some.
minor bugs.
Yeah.
That probably got fixed by now.
I think so. Yeah, I haven't played it like in a month, but
Did you beat it?
I did beat it. But I do feel that
Is the ending good?
it's okay. Like the
ending's depressing.
story-wise, the first Spider-Man was
Probably way better.
better, but
You can't top that Doc
no,
Ock
but
story.
gameplay-wise,
They
it
had
actually
the
improved.
balls to
Oh,
do
I believe
stuff
that.
even the films haven't done.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
But they actually improved a lot on the gameplay. The swinging feels a lot more. I don't know, like what the word for it.
I thought the
is.
fluid.
Fluent, but also it's Miles, so he like just started being
Alright,
Spider-Man, so
fair.
you can tell in his swinging that he's not very good at it yet.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a real attention to detail.
Yeah, it is, and also the fighting, they actually improved on that too. And I thought that couldn't be possible considering how good the first one was.
Yeah, you thought if anything it always goes down. But I feel like for what it was, the actual idea of it, that it's a beginner Spider-Man game, makes a lot of sense to me. It also opens up a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, you want a Spider-Gwen game? I know you.
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Verse game.
Wait, can we get
Spider-Verse.
a Spider-Ham game, please?
No Spider-Ham. Maybe like
Spider Pig.
Spider-Pig. Maybe if you go to an arcade in the game, you can play Spider-Ham on like an arcade.
John
Just
Mulaney's
acknowledge
voice
that
pumped
it's
in.
there. Like, I need that.
On the
in the
topic
future.
of Spider-Man, though, the rumors.
Oh,
Dude,
I don't want
if
to
it's
get into
real,
that. I don't want to get into that
oh
now.
my god.
you will attract every
Oh.
non-MCU fan.
Yeah, every
Just-
Sony lover.
Every Sony lover, every Sam Raimi lover.
Who doesn't love Sam Raimi, bro?
Who
Exactly.
doesn't love
He's
Tony
making a
Maguire?
fucking
I'm sorry.
horror movie in the MCU.
I truly believe
Let that
this
sink in
could
for a
top
second.
Endgame.
He did
gonna be
Evil
good.
Dead. He did
If
all of
they-
Evil Dead.
Like now,
Okay.
now you're gonna tell him to. They literally Marvel and Disney have sat him in a room and said,
Go.
"Write this. Here's a blank check. Do what you want."
I need you to realize.
And they're giving you they're giving you Doctor Strange and the multiverse
Yes.
to play with. He's going to have a fucking ball.
There's a hidden trilogy there in WandaVision the show, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange.
too,
Okay,
yeah.
those are all connecting in some way, one way or
Oh,
another.
this is
And you
multiverse.
are
This is the multiverse.
you
It's
are
great.
absolutely gonna get something that, as a sum,
Well, they
could be
already
the
said-
best thing we've ever seen in the MCU.
already
Better than
said-
Endgame, better than Infinity War, better than Iron Man trilogy.
Which at the time was very hard to
Yeah.
even think was possible.
Endgame as a whole was everyone thought Civil War was a little underwhelming, and
I did, yeah.
as a little, because it wasn't like in Civil War in the comics is huge. We're talking like hundreds of superheroes involved.
Yeah.
Civil War is fairly small, and they didn't pay attention to the Civil War story too much. But as a whole, as an MCU movie, it was absolutely awesome.
It
And
was
here we
good.
are with a situation like Endgame that completely blew our minds. And here we are about to blow our fucking minds again with 3 Spider-Man. Like, who are you most excited for in terms of those Spider-Man? Like, what do you want to see out of that?
I am dying to see Tobey Maguire come back, man.
I think
everyone here can agree.
I'm dying for it.
I just want to
I'm
see him in
dying
a
for
suit.
it. I need that suit.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back
I
to
need
I
that.
wanna
that
see
sick
Green
web
Goblin.
sign suit. I need Willem Dafoe back in. it.
Like, come on.
He is rumored to be joining the
Doc
cast.
Ock.
I don't know how.
Doc Cock. I need him back in the game.
With something
I
crazy.
need
could
Alfred
happen.
Molina back in the movie.
Get some MJ back. Like,
No, I'm not,
oh, I just want to see
didn't
the
like- I didn't
cameo.
like-
I just want to see her on a billboard somewhere. Like,
Yeah, you don't have to bring Kristen Dunst back. Just
No, just the
give
billboard.
me- just like acknowledge the fact that
If
she's
you-
in the universe.
If you're bringing Toby back, you gotta bring her back.
and let's be real here. Can we get some Miles Morales?
That would be
Not
that
yet.
would-
Not yet.
No one says it's got to be a role.
Acknowledge that he. Because
Maybe we
already
could
know
just
he's
see
in
him
this-
there.
No, because we already know he's in the Tom Holland.
Maybe
Yeah.
we can just see
We
the
already
spider bite.
know that. No, I
Maybe
don't
we
wanna
just see the spider
no.
bite.
No, because here's the thing.
Not the spider
That'd be
bite. Not
cool.
yet. It's too early.
How long
Is it though?
It is too early,
Christopher,
'cause we haven't even
how
seen
long is this movie gonna be?
7 hours.
Him. And I would not complain one fucking bit.
I would
You
be there
would,
the
but-
whole
okay,
time.
Think for a second. Like, Endgame was 3.
That's fine.
And
I
if-
didn't even have to pee.
No, and it was good. But Endgame was also an event. Unless you've acknowledged that this is all, because Sony has said nothing about this.
I know.
They have said nothing that this is happening. They don't even know this is happening. This is all rumors. If Sony plays their cards right and they're like, we're gonna give this to you. We're gonna give you Spider-Verse, live action Spider-Verse. Which, if you think about that for a second, that makes the MCU from 2002 canon. Like everything from 2002.
We're talking
to
like
now,
2
that's
decades.
Insanity.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
No, that's no Blade in there. The original Blade.
No, you can't. You
Really?
can't.
Yeah.
Stop.
Bring Blade in.
Well, the Blade has been announced for MCU.
But I'm saying,
Yeah,
like,
you know
throw
that.
a cameo of the old Blade in, so now we're going back
No,
even
he's already,
further.
they already said Wesley Snipes
I
is
need
going to have a
Wesley Snipes
cameo
back.
in Blade.
Oh,
Like,
what if
that's
we have a
happening, so-
multiverse situation where we see the original Avengers movie from the 70s?
And Blade.
That's a
At the
TV
same
movie, and I
time.
want you to never repeat that again.
But what if you see that for a brief second in the background? We're
Oh,
like,
you'll
well,
see it.
MCU goes back to
No,
1970s.
you'll see it. You'll see that. You'll see
Lou
you'll see
Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno's
Yeah.
Hulk. You'll see.
Come on.
You'll
Do you-
see the
Edward
Japanese
Norton.
Could you imagine
Spider-Man.
Lou
Like, that's
Ferrigno?
gonna happen.
Lou Ferrigno stood next to a CGI Hulk.
Oh my god.
Like, it's you.
That's so
and he's gonna look at
funny.
him, he's gonna punch him, and the CGI guy's gonna fall down.
Well, like old Lou
see.
Ferrigno.
Yeah,
Not
like-
even a deep fake.
like with the cane.
2003.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crippled Lou Ferrigno.
there's so much stuff.
There's
going on. It's gonna
so
be great.
many options.
Well, I think with that,
Well,
we could save that all. We could
Well, what
sa-
were
we
you
could
gonna
do
say
that
before?
after. What?
You were gonna say something. You told him that we'll get to
Oh,
that.
if they
Oh,
bring
Andrew
Andrew Garfield. See,
They
I
have
think,
to,
No,
though.
you know what I think they
No,
should do?
yeah.
Hold on. You know what I think they should do? And I think this is a really big missed opportunity if they don't do this in Spider-Verse. If we get a live-action Spider-Verse movie and you bring back Andrew Garfield and you want to set up Andrew Garfield in the film, because that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to set up Spider-Man 4, actual Spider-Man 4 from the original.
Oh, don't tell
and
me
Amazing
that.
Spider-Man 3.
I don't want that.
No, you're gonna get that if you get Spider-Verse because you know Sony needs that. So here's my thing.
You might get that Sony, but I don't think
No.
think Tobey Maguire will get another Spider-Man movie.
If the money,
I don't think
if
Tobey
the money comes in, it will.
I don't think Tobey Maguire has the back strength at this point, at his age,
Who
to
said
be able
that?
to
Okay.
make a fourth movie.
Okay,
Not
so
bad.
how come you? So then, okay, so this is what you do. This is my idea for Spider-Verse.
Okay.
This is copyrighted. Sony, if you want to contact me, please let me know. After the Spider-Verse film with Tom Holland, you do Tom Holland, you do his own story. You take Andrew Garfield, you throw Venom in his universe.
Oh goodness.
You can build that and do that on their own.
So what? You get Venomverse?
No, you get you get the Venom
Like-
from 2018.
Eddie
Tom
Cock.
Hardy's version of
Tom Hardy's version of Venom,
Which is already included in the MCU
yes.
now, by the way.
No, it's
Eddie-
not. No, it's not.
Bring
Not
back-
confirmed, but
Bring back Eddie Cock.
Put no, all I'm saying is put Venom in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. Run with the Venom storyline there, because you can do that. Venom, Carnage, you can do that there, and it'll be good. You can do.
You just
Max-
want to see Carnage on screen.
He's already on screen. Who cares?
He's gonna be on soon.
He's on screen. Maximum Carnage is happening. That's all.
Cannot wait for that.
All-
When
I
do
don't
we
care.
get Null though?
Okay, can you wait a minute? Stop with your comic bullshit.
Future
at
conversation
this point.
in the God of Symbiotes.
When
that's just
will we
been
get the
announced.
Noob Saibot movie? Same
In
shit.
Spider-Man 4, here's my thing with the Tobey Maguire movies, because there
You're
was
dead.
a script thrown out, and I feel like if you wanted to redo that one, why don't you do Miles in the Tobey universe?
No.
Why not?
Well, actually
Because
makes
he's an
sense.
older
Because Chris said
Spider-Man.
so.
Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Well, in all fairness, actually makes sense because in the original introduction of Miles Morales, he was in the Ultimate Universe in the comics. He was not in the main universe.
That
They
way
were considered
you
him a
can-
possible
Yeah,
one-off.
Exactly. So why don't you do this? Why don't you let Toby literally? All
Well, then what are you
Spider-Man 4
gonna
has
do?
to be-
Kill his Earth?
No, kill Toby.
But then how is he gonna
He
be
doesn't
introduced?
have to be in the movie. He has to be in the movie for half the film. Show him build a slightly mental.
Yeah, I would like that if he died.
With Miles.
I would
and
like that if
kill
he
him
died.
off.
What the
It would
fuck?
make sense though.
it was,
And then
yeah.
the Spider-Man, like.
But then how does Miles Morales move over to the MCU though?
we don't?
Dude, if the multiverse is a thing and Doctor Strange is going to jump between multiverses and the
He's got parents.
He's gonna pull bitches.
He's gonna pull bitches. This
Also-
is how this is gonna work.
Also, here's a problem with the current Spider-Man, Tom Holland, right now.
Besides, I'm not.
He's
that I don't
23
like
years
him,
old.
But
He's
okay.
23 years old. He's currently in high school. He looks the role.
He looks
So-
14.
Yeah. What happens in 10 years when he still looks 14?
Kill him off.
Yeah.
Okay.
More
Bring back
money.
Toby.
Andrew Garfield comes back in the
Bring
game.
back Toby.
Nah, just if you want to do that,
Mind you, I thought he was a very good Spider-Man.
He was. He
Wasn't
was.
his movies were just terrible.
his movies were just rushed.
Listen, the first one, like, this
Had-
is an unpopular opinion, but I really liked it.
I think it had potential. I'm not gonna say it was great. Had potential. Second one was awful.
I didn't like the Jamie Foxx one.
No, see,
yeah.
here's
No,
my thing
it
with
wasn't
that. I
good.
love everything about Electro except for
His teeth.
His teeth. His
No,
teeth.
No,
His teeth are
no.
horrible.
Besides his teeth, I think
The
his
character design was
good.
great.
The character was
I just didn't like the
bad.
backstory. Yep.
But I
Yeah,
think,
backstory was terrible.
But I think if
Backstory
you,
was
all
shit.
you had to do was just let Jamie Foxx be Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, and they
And
did
you
it.
would've been
That's
fine.
why I didn't
Oh,
like
that's
it.
why
also
it's a
Harry
problem.
Osborn, terrible.
Oh my god.
The fact that they killed off Norman Osborn. What are you
Right.
doing?
First 20
What are
minutes
you
of the
doing?
film, let's kill Norman off.
My thing with it was they just redid The Incredibles and Jamie Foxx was
Yeah.
Syndrome.
Yeah.
He was Incrediboy at the beginning, and then he turned into Syndrome as Electro. It's the same process.
And he was not
Syndrome
a
had
menacing
electric.
character.
He wasn't.
You know?
He was a pussy.
Yeah, he is what he
Why else is he
fucking
like, I'm
held
gonna
Mr.
kill
Incredible.
Spider-Man? Why?
That's
10
true.
seconds ago, you couldn't even beat your dick. Like, I didn't know
Right.
what it
I'm
said.
gonna kill Spider-Man because he forgot
My
my name.
Birthday.
Like, what the
Name
fuck?
and birthday.
It's
What,
so
like
shitty.
what? That's some real psychotic shit you expect from anyone. Like Deadpool, okay? That's some shit
Yeah.
Deadpool would go on a whole movie run to kill one man because he didn't remember his fucking name.
Right.
And he would make it good.
He
Oh, I
would. It
forgot.
would be
I
awesome. Also,
completely
Deadpool
forgot we're
3.
getting Deadpool 3 in the
Deadpool
MCU.
3 plot leaked by Christopher.
No, I'm just gonna say Deadpool 3 cannot wait. Deadpool 1 was great. Deadpool 2 was okay,
Awesome.
but Deadpool 3 has potential to be awesome.
I just hope they keep same director, same
No,
feeling.
they are- no, they
And he's
already
gonna
said
be in the
that.
MCU. That I cannot wait for.
Yeah.
It's just all gonna be the MCU, which the stuff that's been announced for the MCU is just phenomenal. We're getting Fantastic Four
Again.
hopefully good this time.
Hopefully.
Well,
The
listen,
first one was good.
It wasn't bad.
First one is decent.
Because,
Rise
maybe
of the
because
Surfer was okay.
Maybe because of nostalgia, I liked it. I think it's good.
Maybe.
But
yeah.
also Jessica Alba
I'll be
Alba getting
straight.
naked
and-
on camera.
and Chris
That'll work
Evans.
for you.
I'll be straight though. Like in all fairness, like the original Fantastic Four trilogy did really well to build the characters.
It was two.
Sorry, the
Big fucking
original
deal.
series. I
The
have to say.
unfinished trilogy.
They all fit the role. They looked the role. The backstory was great. They all did well.
I guess yeah. For its time, you know what? You're right.
It
For
looked
2000,
great.
right.
It
4,
looked
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And
The issue
honestly,
was just the story a little bit wasn't real. You ruined Doom in a little bit of the way, you know?
Yeah.
not more than the newer one, but
No, yeah, the
MF
new one
Doom
was just
as
total
Doom.
garbage. No redeeming
suits weren't
quality.
even
Yeah.
that bad.
No, they were
I
nice.
have nothing bad to say about the suits.
Even the CGI for 2004 was actually really good. I enjoyed it.
I like when the Thing is in his hat and overcoat and
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
and nobody looks at him like
No,
he's
oh, yeah.
fucking orange rocks.
No,
So
I love how,
fun.
like,
The new
only-
one was a
there is-
disaster,
I think
though.
There's
Yeah.
only one scene in the 2004 version where somebody acknowledges, like, "Oh my god, it's a monster!"
Right.
And then everyone else is like, "Hey, you're cool. Here's some size 23 Nikes."
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I think it's like the joke about fucking New York being like,
So okay with weird shit.
all right, whatever, just another day
Which
here.
is true.
Big
Yeah,
orange
go on the
guy.
subway at any time, and you'll be. You
Yeah.
know what we're talking about.
I saw a guy at the 36th Street station, some old man uppercutting his wheelchair. Like this was
What?
This was 15 hours ago. I saw this happen.
Was he sitting? Was
He was
doing, like,
standing.
He was standing.
It was
Ah.
one of those ones that like you could
He-
walk with and have like the seat on it that says drive on you, like the company drive. He was just fucking punching its lights out, you know.
We could have a whole
And he was
other episode.
screaming.
Mike Tyson's punch out.
Yeah.
chair edition.
He was little macking his wheelchair.
We could have a whole episode on just stories.
We could.
We should have
On
a whole
subways.
episode on subways.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Like I once
No,
saw
no,
a guy,
Next episode.
I once saw a guy just straight up shitting on the bench he was sitting
Yeah.
on.
All right.
I
all right.
once saw
Oh, God.
a girl vomit
Yeah.
on on someone's purse,
Oh wow.
which is
In
scary.
someone's purse.
All right, next episode of the Pop Culture Podcast: gross New York City pop culture things you will see. Not necessarily saying that's
On
going to be it.
that note,
That's also not the
Also-
name of the podcast.
Also, side note: the guy was not squatting; he was full on sitting.
just
Okay,
What?
all right.
He was
So he shit on
splatooning.
himself.
All right.
Also,
all right.
He was-
wait,
Stop.
wait.
No.
For reference,
He was-
me,
Stop.
Mickey, and Carlos did indeed go through Manhattan today for about what? We were there for maybe an hour and a half together,
an hour.
and we saw a lady changing her pants by a tree.
Yeah, we did. She was homeless.
She was butt naked.
Yeah, cheeks were out.
I would like to thank everyone for joining
Her
us
cheeks were chapped.
on this episode of the OOH-RAH Report, and we will see you all next time.